So this is another effort to kind of describe what microorganisms are. And specifically, this is just considering the microorganisms, not the microorganisms plus the larger things. So we've got eukaryotic organisms, so ones that have nuclei. And these include the protists, but also the fungi. The fungi are considered to be a separate kingdom from the protists. And so the protists, there are some colonial forms. In fact, we looked at Volvox in the lab, which is a colonial algae. And you can kind of see them as little dots, even as colonies of cells, but they're still pretty tiny. And then there's all the single-celled protists, vast amounts of single-celled protists. Among the fungi, again, they're the molds, but also the yeasts, which are unicellular. The yeasts are unicellular. And those are the microscopic fungi. Among the prokaryotes, there's actually two basic groups. One's called simply the bacteria. The other one is called the Archaea. They used to be called the Archaea Bacteria. And these things can be differentiated in a number of different ways, but one of them is whether or not they cause disease. And so benign means not disease-causing. In fact, all the Archaea don't seem to cause disease. And pathogenic means disease-causing. And the bacteria are differentiated, or can be, into pathogenic bacteria versus ones that are not pathogenic. The vast majority of bacteria are benign, are not pathogenic. It's only a few types of bacteria out there, maybe 100 or two, that cause diseases, for example, in humans. And then there's all the acellular organisms, or infectious agents. There are ones that contain nucleic acid. There are ones that consist of only proteins. These really, the protein-only ones, really are not microorganisms. But they're sort of considered under the heading of microbiology because they're tiny and they're infectious. They cause diseases. These are the prions. These are things like the causative agent of mad cow disease. So that's, I mean, it's almost the other end. So if you've got the fungi and the plants and animals at one end, defining the upper end of how big you can be, the prions are kind of the other end of how small you can be, and they reach the point where they're really not even microorganisms. Then there are the things that are not cells but have nucleic acids. They can either have proteins associated with them or not have proteins associated with them. The viruses are the most important, and these consist of a combination of nucleic acids and proteins. And there's something called viroids, which are plant pathogens that consist of just nucleic acid, just RNA. So that's kind of an overview, another overview of what microorganisms are all about.